Home Affairs Minister Malusi Gigaba revealed a number of amendments to visa regulations. Now, the changes are aimed at boosting tourism and stimulating economic growth as part of President Cyril Ramaphosa's recovery plan. It will now be easier for business people from some of the Brics nations to enter South Africa. To discuss these changes and its repercussions, we're joined in our Cape Town studio by HVS Africa Director Rish Thapar. Rish, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, this is really one of the major stories of the week. The minister announcing a tweak or a change, depending on how you look at it, to those visa regulations, with quite a bit of focus on children traveling with their parents. First, give us some context, just in terms of what HVS Africa does.
Thanks, Marcel. HVS Africa is a consulting firm specializing in hotels. We are part of HVS Global, which has about 40 offices around the world. And we work with the governments and private investors in promoting tourism and establishing hotels or decisions on advisory on buying and selling hotels and so on. And we also run a conference called Think Africa, looking at promoting tourism across the continent as well.
Now, your organization would have paid very close attention to this announcement made by Minister Gigaba. What did you take from that announcement?
I think we are all quite happy and excited to hear these new relaxations that have been announced, and hopefully they'll be implemented soon. The whole idea, the whole reason why this is going to boost tourism in a big way is because we're in a very globally competitive environment, and every country is realizing that tourism not only contributes in a big way to revenues, but it also leads to employment and boosting ancillary businesses and activities. And everyone's trying to make it easier for people to come into their country. And South Africa is kind of playing a little catch-up in that regard. And I think one of the bigger problems historically has been that the foreign minors traveling to South Africa needed an unabridged certificate and written consent from both their parents. And there have been countless cases in the past where people have been denied boarding aircrafts in their respective countries. And you have to realize that for someone traveling on holiday or to visit family, it becomes a really sad experience if you're not allowed to board an aircraft, or you have to book an expensive flight the next day. So I think one of the bigger changes is that this compulsion on this paperwork is going to reduce, and of course combined with e-visas, e-gates, getting people from easing regulations for BRIC countries, etc., is all steps in the right direction.
Now, when these announcements for the initial visa changes were made a few years ago, it was roundly criticized, specifically from the tourism industry. Jeff Radebe at the time just called them unexpected consequences, I think, rather infamously now. How negative an impact did those initial visa changes have on the tourism industry, in your experience?
Well, you see, if you're trying to make travel to a country more cumbersome and involve more paperwork, then obviously it's going to have a detrimental impact, and experience of travelers is testimony to that. However, I think what we need to focus on is how do we get these changes implemented, and how do we start marketing, or how do we start telling the people in the world that these perceptions need to change, and it's easy to travel to South Africa now. I mean, we live in a very digital world today, and travel itineraries are planned sometimes a few weeks in advance. And what this is going to do is open up the economy to those people who plan itineraries a few short weeks, because earlier the process was to have the processing of the visa was about 4 to 6 weeks. You're definitely missing out on a large market that plans travel itineraries within a month. But also the larger impact that this is going to have is that the whole tourism, the whole visa relaxation is very comprehensive, that it touches on a lot of other points, such as students, businessmen coming, frequently to South Africa and so on. And it's overall aligned with SA Tourism's strategy for bringing in 5 million additional tourists in the next 5 years. And we've seen Westgrow working hard to get more air connectivity directly into Cape Town, and great tourism marketing campaigns running across the world in the form of road shows and television promotions. And it's just, you can do all that, but there's no benefit if you're going to make it difficult for people to come into your country. So these e-visa and the overall visa relaxations are going to help in tourism, for tourism in a big way.
We're going to have to leave it there now. Director at HVS Africa, Rish Thapar, joining us live from Cape Town. We thank him for his time this